Yesterday was the regular monthly meeting of United Laguna Hills Mutual, and we are joined by United Mutual President Ron Beldner back with us on the show today. Welcome back to you.
Thank you.
A lot of our residents probably remember when they moved in here, they were given a gigantic packet of papers, and it contained all kinds of information, including that very valuable certificate, which they need to guard and protect and lock up like it's a stock certificate, because I know recently someone I was talking to had to replace that, and it cost him $1,500 to get a new one if he wanted to move out of United. So guard those papers, especially that important one, your certificate there. But among the things in there are the bylaws, and the board is coming up on a process now to make some upgrades, some changes, some modifications in the bylaws of United, and you've got some information on that for us.
Yes. The bylaws were last revised in 1994. Most associations, every 8 years, maximum 10, revise all the laws. The reason they revise it is because during that period, governmental agencies pass rules and regulations. The board may have some upgrades that they want to put in, and we pass resolutions. So we don't rewrite the whole thing. So what has happened is for 16 years, nobody has done anything, actually almost 18 years, and now we have to rewrite the thing. This isn't a new one. All it is a restated with all the new items that are in it. And I have a statement I'd like to read to everybody. The United Board voted to mail the proposed amended and restated United bylaws and occupancy agreement to the United membership for a vote. The proposed revisions to these governing documents were made with the assistance of United's legal counsel and will bring the documents into compliance with state and federal law and best business practices for California common interest developments. The ballot package will be mailed on August 1st. The secret ballots must be returned no later than 5 p.m. on August 31st, and instructions for returning the secret ballots will be included with the ballot package. The United Board will host 2 town hall meetings to allow residents the opportunity to discuss the bylaws and occupancy agreement with the board and United's legal counsel. August 10th at 1 p.m. in Clubhouse 5 will be the first one, and then August 17th at 10 a.m. in Clubhouse 5 will be the second. Both of these will be broadcast live on TV. Concurrent with the mailing of the ballot package on August 1st, the amended and restated United bylaws and occupancy agreement will be posted on the village website, which is www.lagunawoodsvillage.com under the Residence Links United. So we're going to be doing a big promotional thing on this, and the people will have a chance to review these documents. Now, somebody asked, why 30 days? Why not months? The law says 30 days is the maximum that we can give to people to review these documents. And all they are is the restated of the original that we had. We took out HUD from these rules, and we added in a lot of stuff. For example, the new Open Meeting Act we had to add in. Right. There are also other things. We have domestic partnerships, which we didn't have in 1994. There are a lot of civil rights that have been put in here, a lot of government protection for our members. All of these we have passed along within the meetings that we've had every month. We obey the rules, but now we're putting them for everybody to see at one time.
Now, it's not something people can go through, as they jokingly say in the government issues, with a blue pencil and say yes and no. You either vote yes on the whole thing or no on the whole thing. It's not a selective, you're not voting on pieces of the thing. You're voting on the whole business.
That is correct. We have to have a vote on the whole amount.
Do we need a certain number, majority, over a certain percentage? How does that work?
The bylaws currently state that 15% of the membership, so 15% have to vote of 6,323 members.
Okay.
So 15% of that have to vote.
And then of that 15%, a majority has to say yes?
Yes.
So it could be 7.5% of the community could pass the bylaws.
Yes, 50% plus 1.
Right. So it is open to every homeowner in United. As I understand, it's kind of like the elections for directors. It's 1 vote per manor, not 1 vote per person, right?
That's correct.
So it's very similar to that. It's going to be a separate election, though, separate from your election for new board members. It's going to be a separate event and taking place in, as you say, in the month of August.
Yes, we have to do it that way. In fact, We have spent more than a year and a half with open meetings. People have been calling them secret meetings. We posted the meetings. We talked about them even in board meetings and told people when they were allowed to come in and give us their ideas as we went line by line on these. It was signed off on October 4th of last year to go out in December to our membership with the return in January. Unfortunately, the state of California decided to pass a whole bunch of new laws along with the federal government, and our attorney said, you can't send it out. Right. And then it came January, we figured, okay, we got the new laws, we're gonna send them out, and then the governor announced he's gonna send some of these laws back to the legislature to review and maybe redo them again. Right. So we couldn't send it out. And then, of course, some other changes came in from the federal government. We have the local government. We have to appease everybody.
Right, so that's why the delay, and again, you folks will be seeing those. I think you're going to mail them out about the 1st of August.
They have to go out the 1st of August to everybody.
And that means you'll have a few days to look it over before that first town hall again, which will be on Friday, August the 10th. And those will be over at Clubhouse 5. And some people are saying, well, you know, everybody in United lives nearer to Clubhouse 3. Clubhouse 3 is going to be going through a refurbishing program at that time and is not going to be available. It'll be actually closed to the public. So Clubhouse 5 was the next best choice. The other place we can go live on TV. So that was why Clubhouse 5 got the nod.
The staff originally had Clubhouse 3, and then we said, wait a minute, it's, as you say, it's going to be remodeled.
Yep.
During the whole month of August. It's being shut down, so we have to go to a bigger location.
Right, right. Well, that was one of the major discussion items yesterday at your meeting, but of course, as always, you have other things you're dealing with. One of those is something that was put into these homes back in the 60s, and that was a product that we all knew about during World Wars II and other events to try and prevent fires, is asbestos.
Right.
Good for fire prevention, not good for human lungs. So a program to deal with asbestos is coming up in United.
Right. One of the laws we have in this state and building codes, whenever anybody does anything within a unit, we notify you, of course, before you even move in here that there is asbestos in these units. And you have to have it checked out when we do anything. For example, when we go to paint the building, they actually take samples to see if there is asbestos in the paint that was used over the 48 years that this place was built. Even lead now. Some of the glue that was used on tile in showers has got lead. So we have both asbestos and lead, and we have to be able to tell the people that it's done and take the precautions.
Right. So that's going to be coming up, and again, you'll be hearing more about that, and that again is another aspect of the maintenance program, the painting and the ongoing maintenance there in United. Jack Bassler chairs your M&C committee, and they were talking about, again, part of the look of the community being upgraded and updated a bit, and the use of pavers has become very popular. Right. Cities have been using them for several years. They're becoming a reality in this community. It adds a nice look as opposed to a sea of concrete. It has a nicer, more aesthetic look to it than just plain concrete. So it's the coming thing, I guess.
Well, we used it in cul-de-sac 67. When we put the berm in to keep the water from entering that one, we put these pavers across it, and people liked it. We're going to be doing it in another cul-de-sac 7. That particular cul-de-sac, we're working with GRF on a 50-50 split on certain parts of that remodel of that. That entrance is very tough for people in wheelchairs and for walkers to get in, so we're going to be doing a remodel there, and that will have the pavers too.
Good, good. One of the things that United does that it does not done in the rest of the community, and that is maintaining and replacing as needed the original appliances. That has been part of United since day one when Mr. Cortese cut the ribbon on manor number 001, I guess, and that was to replace some of the appliances on a as needed basis, and one of those is the refrigerator. You've run into some problems in the last few years in that the refrigerators to meet the cubic foot requirement tended to be a little bit larger than they were originally, and so you started to getting into having to do some cabinetry work, which made the cost of replacing those refrigerators a lot more expensive. A solution the board's come up with is to maybe go to a slightly smaller refrigerator in capacity, but it'll fit in the space better.
Okay, the first thing that happened is General Electric informed us that they were going to stop making that model. And yes, we have been going in there, and in some of the models, we do have to cut out a little area above the refrigerator, which meant The doors of the cabinet above it were made smaller, and it took away some of your space for storage. That was really no problem. But there's another problem in certain models. When you open up your dishwasher, you're hitting the refrigerator. If you open up the refrigerator, you're hitting the dishwasher. So we had to look at what was available, and GE came up with this 16 cubic foot model. We will have both models. We're talking now, we've sent it back to the committee. We're talking about allowing you either model, and if we can get it in there without having to do major repairs, because some people say, I don't want you to touch my cabinets.
Right. So you have to kind of be a little bit flexible on that.
Right.
Now the option that people have is if they want to bring in their own appliances, they can do that, but then that exempts them from the United replacement program. They're on their own. If they buy a different model or a different make or a different style of refrigerator, it becomes their responsibility. The mutual no longer, and that in the case of the refrigerator, won't be replacing it.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, okay.
Okay. The program is this way. You have a right to upgrade.
Right.
So for example, I upgraded to a 30 cubic foot GE French door refrigerator. I bought it through the mutual. The first year, GE has the full responsibility for that. After that, the mutual does. We become responsible for that unit to keep it up. The only thing we will not fix on the unit if I have water on the door or an ice maker, or if I have a TV built into it, or the new, you can order, the people have these new sound ones on there now that you can talk to your refrigerator and tell it what you need, and it gives you back a whole bunch of information. These are very expensive. We don't fix those specific ones,
Yeah.
but we do maintain your product.
The basic
Yeah.
cooling unit, if
The
you
cooling,
will.
all the other stuff.
Not the television set. I haven't seen one of those yet, but I'm not surprised. It was an interesting side note at the monthly meeting of the Media and Communications Committee. They were talking about people having more than one television set in their
Right.
home, most of the residents. And according to Russ Ridgway, the record right now is 11. And we're trying to figure out where you can put 11 television sets in some of the homes here, which aren't gigantic, but somebody has 11 TV sets in their home. So
I can answer part of that. I went into a place that had just been remodeled. They had
Right.
one above the fireplace.
yeah,
They had one in the kitchen. Both bathrooms had them. They had one in a shower, a mini one in a shower, which I have never seen. And they had in each bedroom 2, one for the husband, one for the wife,
wow.
hanging from the ceiling.
Okay, so there you go. That's how you can have 11 TV sets in your home here in Laguna Woods Village. Sounds exciting. Something that everybody sees, not your TV set or your refrigerator, but is the exterior of your home. And you're always looking at creative and new ways to upgrade the color palette to make things look better. And you're even in the process now of doing some upgrades to the laundry rooms and look there. And even in some cases, putting up arbors around the trash areas to make them a little more aesthetically pleasing.
We've had a consultant come in and give us a master plan, and we're looking at how we can improve the community without raising all the assessments. We're seeing what can we do with color. If we can change color a building to make them more appealing. If you go down the freeway, you see all these new projects that are coming in by the Irvine Company and some of the others. They all have these fancy colors on there. We're looking at these Mediterranean colors, but we're also looking at to make sure that if we paint our buildings, we want that color to try and stay there for the full 8 years. We've had recommendations where color, and the paint contractor that we use came in and said, don't use that color, it's going to fade in 3-4 years. So we're looking at the colors, and I think people will be very happy when they see cul-de-sac 208 with all the new color schemes throughout that, and then we're going to do that perhaps throughout the whole community, because we do paint every 8 years.
All right, lots going on in United. If you missed that meeting, you can catch a replay tomorrow, Thursday at 1:30 here on Channel 6. And then again, you'll want to circle those dates of those town hall meetings on the bylaws. That will be Friday, August the 10th, and again, Friday, August the 17th. On the 10th, it'll be 1 o'clock in the afternoon. On the 17th, it'll be at 10 o'clock in the morning. Both will be televised, and they'll both be held at Clubhouse 5. We thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here maybe Friday.
Okay.
Or somebody from United will be here on Friday, we know. Thanks, Ron, for joining us today.
Thank you for allowing
Ron Beldner, the president of United Laguna Hills Mutual, and again, updating us on yesterday's meeting. We do have a United director on each Friday here for you on the Channel 6 News as well. And of course, Third Mutual has a director on each Monday here on our program also. Stay with us. We're coming back with more as our program continues for today.